Hello, this video is for artificial lash application, and we will start as if we just arrived to work. So when we get to work, the first thing that we always do is wash our hands. So we find the sink and we wet our hands, and we put our coin-sized amount of liquid hand soap in the palm of our hands, and we wash our hands down to our wrists. We're going to wash the back of our hands down to our wrists. We're going to wash our fingers, and we're going to wash the backs of our fingers. We are going to wash our nails and fingertips. We're going to wash between our fingers. We're going to wash between our fingers and our thumbs. We're going to wash our thumbs. We're going to wash our wrists, and we're going to do all of that wash for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then we're going to do a really good, thorough, proper rinse underneath the sink water. Once we feel like we've gotten nice and clean, we're going to find disposable paper towels or a clean towel and turn the faucet off with the towels. Dry our hands thoroughly. We're going to throw the towels in the trash. If it's a dirty towel now, it's going to go in a closed container that is labeled, that's not labeled, but just closed until it's time for laundry. And then we're going to find our hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and we're going to sanitize our hands. Once we feel like everything's sanitized, we are going to prepare our room for our client that is coming for her artificial lash application. So what you want to do for that is you're going to disinfect your workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe following manufacturer's directions. You're going to dispense the products needed for the service. You're going to prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container, excuse me, and ensuring the tip of, let me just hand sanitize as we would. You'll prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray, or remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. Close the lid to the product and set the portion cup tray on the tray. We will place disposable table paper on the disinfected bed as an option, or if you don't have table paper, you obviously would do your preparation where you do the fitted sheet and the flat sheet clean on the disinfected bed. So just keeping that in mind. And then you would need to do your client consultation. But before your client gets here, I'm going to show you what I already have out on my tray, prepared and ready for this artificial lash application. So I have cotton rounds, and I have 2x2s. I have 4 squares. I have some makeup remover, oil-free. I've got water. I always have water. Disposable gloves, because we wear gloves for this service. We have a set of lashes, lash glue. We have this wooden stick Q-tip so we can apply the glue. We have tweezers, we have small scissors, and we have disposable mascara wands. So we're set up and ready to go when our client arrives, so that we don't have to waste time for the client, and that we can really expedite her service and keep everyone on time. So let's talk about client consultation. So I would approach my client with clean hands. You saw me wash my hands. I am going to wash them again before service, of course, but just always noting that we never approach the client without clean hands. So our client arrives. We're going to greet our client and escort her to the work area. We're going to assess her current style. We'll determine the client's preferences and assess the client's needs. We're going to assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation, for example, lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We'll assess client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours and consult on any known allergies. We will consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months, and if the client's under a physician's care, we'll assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers, and if the client is free from any of those contraindications, we can move forward with the procedure. And our client, Betty, is ready, and she's fine. She has a party tonight, and she wants to wear some lashes to make her feel more glamorous. We are going into the holidays, So she wants to make sure that she looks tip-top for her guests. So before I wash my hands, I'm going to go ahead and get Betty comfortable on the facial bed. And so I have my horizontal towel because I do not have table paper. And I am going to go ahead and drape her. She doesn't have to disrobe for the service. Get her nice and comfy here under the covers. And I'm just covering up because I will be using, of course, lash glue. I've got a headband right here that I'm getting ready to put on her. I will be using lash glue for the lashes, and I don't want anything to fall on her clothing or person. And then I'm just going to put her headband on here. And what that does is it just keeps the hair away from the lashes. That's the goal here, is the hair out of the face, so that we'll be able to work on our client and not have anything get in the way. So I need to wash my hands. So I'm going to go to the sink. I'm going to wet my hands. I'm going to get that coin-sized liquid hand soap. I'm going to wash my hands down to the wrist, and I'm going to wash the back of my hands down to the wrist. I'm going to wash those fingers really good and the back of my fingers. I'm going to wash between my fingers and between my fingers and my thumbs. I'm going to wash those fingertips and nails. I'll wash my thumbs and, of course, my wrists. All of that, minimum 20 to 30 seconds, and then I'm going to do a really good, thorough, proper rinse underneath the water. And when I feel like I've gotten everything clean and rinsed off, I'm going to grab disposable paper towels or a towel, turn off the faucet, dry everything, toss the towels, grab my hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and I'm going to sanitize my hands. I'm going to get them good and dry because I do have to put disposable gloves on. And sometimes that's a little bit more challenging with damp hands. And I have my gloves on. I'm going to go over here now to my tray, and I am going to take a second here. I'm just taking my lashes out of the box. The first step that we're going to do is we are going to remove any eye makeup that she may currently be using. So I'm going to take some cotton rounds and some eye makeup remover. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove that eye makeup. Sometimes it may take a couple of times for you to do it, depending on how much they have on. And I'm going to dry everything off nicely. It's important to have it dry before you start working on glue or anything like that. And then I'm going to comb through her lashes just to make sure everything's nice and pretty, because our goal with our lash strip is to get it as close to that lash line as possible and really blend it in with their natural lashes. And then I'm going to take a strip and measure first. So the good news is there really is a right and a left side of these artificial lashes. The longest part of the lash is going to be the outside of the eyelash, and the short side would be closest into the nose. So you're going to see each lash strip actually has a short shorter side and a longer side. These are very natural looking strip lashes. Some are a little bit more dramatic, and it's a little bit more obvious to see there, which is shorter and longer. These are a little bit closer, but you can see. So it's even into the nose. Like, imagine these are my eyes. My nose would be right in the middle. On the strip, it's the shorter side will be the one that's into the nose as well if you are first taking them out of the package. Now, if somebody uses them once and reuses them and they put them in wrong, you just have to eyeball it and see which is the short side and the long side. But that would be, you wouldn't be using an old strip in spa or salon. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the right eye and measure it. And what I'll do is I will hold it with my fingers, and I'm just going to line it up with her lashes and her lash line, and see really if it is too long, which a lot of times they are, and you need to trim them. So for this mannequin, actually, it's a really pretty spot on. But for video's sake, I'm going to show you what I would do if I needed to trim it. So I'm going to imagine that I'm going to pretend like it's a little too long so I can show you what to do. Say I've measured it, and then this much of the end needs to be trimmed off. So you never trim the short side. You always trim the outer part, the longer part. So I've measured it, and I held it up, and I'm holding what needs to be trimmed off with my fingers. Now I'm going to take the scissors, my little scissors that I have right here, and I would be trimming off the extra above my fingers, not underneath, because I'd make it too small. So I'm going to trim that off, and then I would throw that little extra piece in the trash right away. Then I'm going to flip it over, because what you're going to do at this point is you're going to apply the lash glue to the back side of the artificial lash strip. So I have my lash adhesive here, and I would be placing a little bit of my lash adhesive on the wooden end of my Q-tip here, and then I would apply that lash adhesive all along the strip of lashes, and I would evenly distribute it so there would not be any glumps or bumps or big bubbles of glue. I would just take as much as I need to do a thin layer all along edge to edge. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to hold the lash strip, flipping it over about the center of the lashes. Then I'm going to take it to my client's lash line, and the first place I'm going to press as I apply it is the outer corner, and then I'm going to work my way into the nose as I'm pressing it down along that lash line. So I'm starting that press on the way out and then pressing it. And then you want to wait maybe about 4 to 5 seconds, just giving it a second to make sure it's stuck, and you can check it and see. And I think that looks amazing. You can even have the client open if you want to, just to see that it's easy for them to open and close, and then have them stay closed. Totally up to you. And then what we're going to do now is repeat the process on the left eye. So I have to measure before anything. I measure. So I take it off of the little container that it's in, and I don't put any glue or anything on it. I'm just using my fingers at this point, and I'm going to take it corner to corner on close to her lash line as I can to measure it. And it, once again, we know that this lash strip for this mannequin actually fits really well, but I'm going to pretend that it doesn't so I can show you guys what I would do. So once again, this is the long side. There's a little bit too long, just like the other side. And I would get my little mini scissors, trim that excess above the fingers, not below, and then I flip it over, because there's already going to be a sticky side, so you'll know which side is the side that you apply the glue, because it's going to be the side that was stuck to the box, and it will be very easy for you to determine what's the underside. Also, the lash is going to go up, like when it's placed, it's like your normal lashes would, so you wouldn't want to put them on upside down anyway. So we grab our glue, we're grabbing a new wooden stick, and then we're going to put a little glue on that, and then apply it all along the edge smoothly and evenly, so there's not any big bubbles of glue, corner to corner of your lash strip. And then I'm going to grab my lash strip. I'm flipping it over. It's got the glue on it now. I'm going to grab my tweezers, and I'm going to hold the lash strip with my tweezers about halfway, and then I'm going to take it as close to this lash line as I can before I start my press. And then I just press from the outside to the inside, gently. And once again, I give it a good 4 to 5 second. I do this sometimes because you can also have a little fan. It helps the glue dry a little bit quicker for the client. You can have them open once again to make sure that they're comfortable, that it feels good. It's always going to feel, an artificial lash strip you're going to feel it. You're going to know that it's there, but it won't be uncomfortable or heavy. The goal is that they have no problem opening or closing the eyes with the glue, because you control the amount of glue that you apply. And then what you're going to do is you're going to show your client how amazing they look, which she does look just gorgeous with her little lashes on. She's ready for her party. And then you can finish and discuss. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off our disposable gloves. And we'll be able to take off her headband and drape, which she didn't have to disrobe or anything, so that doesn't take a second to do. And then what you'll do is have her follow you out to the checkout. You will discuss maintenance and aftercare. And one thing to note is that these are single-use items, so you want to just literally take the lashes off when you wash your face at night. If she wants to save them, you can tell her how she can reuse them. Most people just use them for a single wear. And then you'll get her checked out and on her way. You need to go back because you have another client that's going to come in for another service. So you got to get back into your room and discard any single-use items. For example, those disposable gloves need to go, any 2x2s or cotton rounds you might have used, those wooden stick Q-tips in the trash. If you used any implements, which we did, like our tweezers and our scissors, you need to put them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected. The drape or any towels or sheets you might have used need to go in a closed container until it's time to do laundry. And then you need to identify proper cleaning agent, read manufacturer's directions, of course, follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage, and wipe down your workstation and area so that it is free of debris. Then you're going to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting, and you're going to completely wipe down following manufacturer's directions. Of course, you will, for mixing and usage, you will disinfect anything in however you need to use it, and or use appropriate aerosol disinfectant. You'll disinfect electrical equipment stored in clean areas separate from other implements. You would have put on a new pair of gloves to do that EPA approved disinfectant. So it's time to take off those gloves and throw them in the trash, and then you're going to wash your hands one final time. So wet your hands at the sink, you're going to wash them all the way down to the wrists, and you're going to, with liquid hand soap, and you're going to wash the back of the hands down to the wrist. You're going to wash the fingers, and you're going to wash the backs of the fingers. You're going to wash those fingertips and nails. You're going to wash between your fingers. You're going to wash between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your thumbs, and you're going to wash your wrists. And you're going to do all of that interlocking finger wash for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds, and then it's time to give it that thorough, proper rinse underneath the water. When you feel like you've gotten everything rinsed off, you're going to grab disposable paper towels or a clean towel, and you're going to turn the faucet off with the towels. Dry your hands completely. If you use disposable paper towels, they go in the trash. If it's a dirty towel now, it's going to go in the closed container until you do the laundry, and then you'll finish with your 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer, and you're going to sanitize beautifully, and then you will be ready to set up for your next service of the day. And so this concludes your artificial lash application video.